You know, some mysteries just won't let go of you. They grab hold of your imagination, your curiosity, and no matter how many times you hear them, you're left with that same uneasy feeling in your gut. This one is different. It's not just a strange story, it's a haunting tragedy that refuses to be explained. More than 75 years later, people are still asking the same chilling question: what really happened to the Sodder children? Welcome to Rivo TV, where we dive deep into the mysteries that keep you awake at night. And today, we're revisiting one of the most unsettling unsolved cases in American history. It's Christmas Eve, 1945. Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jennie Sodder are at home with 9 of their 10 children, enjoying the holiday. The Sodders weren't a wealthy family, but they were hardworking, respected, and deeply bonded. That Christmas night, their home was alive with the sounds of laughter, children playing with new toys, and the comfort of a family together. For the Sodders, it was the perfect picture of American life. But just hours later, that picture would burn to ashes, and leave behind a mystery that feels more like the opening chapter of a crime thriller than real life. Around 1 a.m., Jennie suddenly woke up. Something wasn't right. She smelled smoke. Running downstairs, she found flames tearing through the kitchen. Her heart raced. She screamed for George. Together, they managed to get 4 of their kids out safely. But five of their children, were still upstairs, sleeping in their beds. Panic set in. George rushed to grab his ladder to climb up to the second-floor windows, but the ladder was missing. He ran to start his coal trucks, thinking he could pull them close and climb onto the roof. But neither of the trucks would start. Just the day before, both had been working perfectly. The flames spread quickly. Neighbors gathered, desperate to help. Calls to the fire department went unanswered. By the time firefighters arrived, hours later, the Sodder home was nothing but smoking ruins. The official report: faulty wiring. An electrical fire. The 5 children declared dead, consumed by the flames. Case closed. But here's the first problem: not a single trace of those children was ever found. No bones. No teeth. Nothing. Experts agree that even in the hottest house fires, some remains always survive. Even cremation furnaces, which burn much hotter than a house fire, leave fragments of bone and teeth. So how is it possible that 5 children could completely vanish? The Sodders didn't believe it. They refused to accept it. And when you hear the details, you might not either. For one, the house had recently been rewired. George had personally overseen the work, and the electrician confirmed it was safe. Short circuit? Unlikely. Then there was the phone line. Investigators discovered it had been cut from the outside. Not burned, cut. Someone had deliberately severed the line that night. Jennie also remembered something strange. Just after midnight, before the fire, she answered a phone call. A woman's voice, laughing, then silence. She hung up, brushed it off as a wrong number. But minutes later, she heard a loud thud on the roof, like something heavy had landed. Soon after, smoke filled the house. And then there's the missing ladder, later found tossed in a ditch far from the house. Both trucks mysteriously disabled. Every possible way George could have rescued his children, blocked. Was it all just bad luck? Or was someone making sure he couldn't reach them? Theories began swirling almost immediately. Months before, an insurance agent had tried to pressure George into buying a policy. When George refused, the man warned him, "Your house is going to go up in smoke. Your children are going to be destroyed. And you're going to be paid for the dirty remarks you've been making about Mussolini." See, George Sodder wasn't afraid to speak his mind. As an Italian immigrant, he had strong opinions, especially against Mussolini, Italy's fascist dictator. In the mid-1940s, that was dangerous. Some members of the Italian community, especially those with Mafia ties, still supported Mussolini. George's public criticism could have easily painted a target on his back. Could this fire have been more than a tragedy? Could it have been a warning? Or revenge? Over the years, people claimed they saw the Sodder children alive. A woman swore she saw them at a Charleston hotel, accompanied by strangers. A bus driver reported seeing something like fireballs being thrown at the house that night. Later, George discovered a strange rubber object in the yard, an incendiary device, nicknamed a pineapple bomb. It matched exactly what Jennie had heard hit the roof. The Sodders never gave up. They built a massive billboard along U.S. Route 60 with photos of the missing children, offering a reward. For decades, that billboard loomed as a reminder, this mystery was not solved. Leads came in, but none were definitive. Then, in 1967, Jennie received a letter. No return address. Inside was a photograph of a young man in his 20s. On the back were the words, Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Illo boys. A 90132. The man looked remarkably like Louis, one of the missing Sodder children. Was it him? Or was it just another cruel twist in a story full of pain? A private investigator was hired. But like every other lead, this one vanished into silence. As the years went by, the toll on the Sodders was devastating. George died in 1969, never knowing the truth. Jennie lived another 20 years, dressing in black, mourning her lost children every single day. She built fences around the home, added rooms, but never stopped searching for answers. In 1989, Jennie passed away. That same year, the family finally took down the billboard that had stood for decades. By then, the case had become legend, a story passed down through generations, unsolved and unforgettable. And now, we're left with the same questions George and Jennie carried to their graves. Did those 5 children really die in the fire? Or were they kidnapped, their disappearance staged under the cover of flames? Were they silenced by enemies George had made? Or was it something even darker, something we'll never truly understand? Here's the haunting truth, we may never know. But what happened that night has burned itself into American history, not just as a tragedy, but as one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. So, what do you think? Accident? Arson? Kidnapping? Or something even more sinister? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Rivo TV for more deep dives into the mysteries that refuse to rest. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't burn away with the fire.